Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's Office on a Friday afternoon. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to share this video with your friends. If they don't know about these daily updates and they're interested, please let them know that they can find me on the city's website, on a YouTube channel, on Twitter feeds, Facebook. We're trying to get the word out. There is so much information to share. Things are changing daily. There's a lot of work being done. There's an enormous effort being made citywide to spread the word about how to stop the spread of the virus. The first and single most important thing we all have to do is stay home, stay healthy, wash your hands, follow the protocols for covering up coughs and sneezes, don't touch your face, stay away from other people to the extent you can practice social distancing, 6 feet of distance if and when you ever do go out to run an errand. Keep them essential, keep them short, keep them separate. Going to the supermarket, yes, but follow protocols. We can't have the supermarkets turning into places where people get sick. So remember to, if you want to, wear gloves, cover up, wash your hands. When you're going through the line, stay 6 feet apart and maintain social distancing. If you're going to a doctor's appointment, the same thing applies. Get home. If you need exercise, it's turning into a beautiful spring day. Go to the parks, but practice social distancing at parks. 6 feet apart, no more than 5 people in a group. If you want to go on a trail, go for a hike, walk the dog. All good things to do as long as you practice social distancing. This is getting more and more serious around the country. Now, none of us should take it lightly. None of us should think we're immune. I was on a call just now with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, more than 100 mayors from around the country. Very sobering news. One of the staff of the mayor of our nation's capital passed away from coronavirus. Nobody is immune to this disease. So be conscious that it could happen to anybody. If you do begin to get the symptoms, be sure to call the number where you can get an assessment over the phone. Thanks to our Department of Health, the COVID-19 hotline, 855-600-3453. I'll give it to you again, 855-600-3453, 600-3453. But most important, stay home. Stay home and stay safe. The news from the Conference of Mayors was both sobering, but there's also good news. Here's a statistic that the mayor of New York City shared. On March 1st, they had 1 case. As of today, they had 25,573 positive cases, 356 dead people who had died from coronavirus. And he believes that April in New York will be worse than March. So prepare for the possibility that this will go on and that we have to get used to this new normal. We don't have to love it, but we have to accept it. And we have to do our best to support each other, to reach out through technology, to talk to our friends, to send messages of well-wishing and good spirits, but to stay at home and practice good social distancing. The good news from Washington, D.C. was that this afternoon, the $2 trillion package to respond to the coronavirus and the economic after effects was passed. So there is a $2 trillion program headed toward the people of the United States. There will be individual checks for people who meet the income criteria. There will be expanded and bolstered unemployment benefits. There will be loans for small businesses. There'll be a substantial amount of money thanks to our congressional delegation who worked incredibly hard to get New Mexico and Santa Fe, northern New Mexico, represented in that bill. We'll be getting a big chunk of the money as we deserve. FEMA will be getting $45 billion in disaster funds. There'll be $850 million headed for grants for police departments and public safety issues. There will be community development block grant dollars of $5 billion to do direct allocation to communities to help out. A $100 billion reimbursement for healthcare expenditures, $450 million for Food Depot and soup kitchens to continue to feed people. So Washington, D.C. is responding. The state of New Mexico has already stepped up with $100 million. The city of Santa Fe on Wednesday night at our first ever virtual city council meeting allocated $500,000 to address business needs, economic development issues, and community social needs like food, shelter, additional outreach for people in our Spanish-speaking community. We are really mobilizing city government to respond, to make sure you stay healthy, and also to deal with the after effects of the health emergency, to deal with the economy, small businesses, mom and pop stores, our restaurants, our hotels, our small businesses around the city, and then individuals who need help in the community when it comes to food, shelter, and additional resources that we're making available. That Wednesday night city council meeting and that $500,000 allocation was really historic, and it really was a testimonial to the city staff who put together the staff work to get that material ready, and now to the city staff that is working to put the money out so people can take advantage of it. As always, the city team is stepping up. We've got an incredible group of people working in the city of Santa Fe, for the city of Santa Fe. It is Team Santa Fe, and they are doing an incredible job. The parks are open, thanks to our Parks and Rec department, and they're putting up signs that very simply say, social distance. When you go to the parks, stay apart. At the same time, our golf course is closed, our gyms, pools are closed. Those are all not open. The trails are open, the parks are open. Biking is great, hiking is great, just stay separate. Another important positive piece of news, our Artist Fund is working. Our Department of Arts and Culture was awarded a challenge grant by the Lannan Foundation. Thank you to the Lannan Foundation. That $15,000 has been matched. The next challenge is $5,000. The goal is $100,000. So far, we're at $50,000 in grants that will go to our arts community so they can be creating ways to express the arts, the culture, the history, the tradition, the rich, rich part that makes Santa Fe so special. We want to support our artists. That challenge grant is giving our arts and culture department the capacity to reach out and support our arts community. Senior services. Yesterday, our senior services department delivered 523 Meals on Wheels. They usually do 140 per day. Yesterday, they ramped up to 523 meals, and you may have seen that the Food Depot handed out 3,000 boxes of food to people in Santa Fe who need help. And the police department, a big shout out to Santa Fe Police for keeping the traffic moving and keeping it safe on Sila Road. This is an amazing, remarkable, just outpouring of support and community help. It is part of what makes Santa Fe so special. People are willing to contribute money, contribute time, to volunteer to get those boxes ready. But remember that if you do volunteer, you need to be wearing gloves. You need to be washing your hands. You need to do social distancing, even as you do something socially helpful. The Santa Fe City Libraries continue to be an amazing resource. There's story time, there are e-resources. Go to santafelibrary.org. if you've got the ability to get your kids some time looking at what the library has as resources. There are stories, there are books, there are video, there's all kinds of learning and educational opportunities and entertainment opportunities courtesy of our librarians who continue to be above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to recognizing that sheltering at home for young people can be very, very difficult. We want them to be well entertained and well educated. The library continues to be a huge resource for that. There is also the ability, if you are in your car and by yourself, to use Wi-Fi in the parking lots. The network name is Library Guest. The password is Library 2020, but don't congregate. Stay separate if you need to pick up the Wi-Fi in a city parking lot at the libraries. In the meantime, our Economic Development Department is identifying 5 hotspots around the city that could create signals that people could pick up from home. That'll take a couple weeks because we have to get the equipment shipped into town to set up those spots, and under the situation we're in nationally, shipments are taking more time to get the hardware in so we can install it. But we're all aware that with social distancing, everybody needs access equally to the internet, and we are making that available through the Economic Development team. Our Economic Development Department is going to create 5 hotspots around the city. Our Parks team continues to make Santa Fe beautiful, keep Santa Fe beautiful. When we all get out of our houses and we check things out, the triangle at St. Francis Drive and Cerrillos Road has been transformed from the Devil's Triangle into a heavenly looking space where the weeds are gone and there is beautiful planting. They even installed crushed pecan shells so that there's a sense of gardening going on there. The medians are being done at Jaguar Drive and Airport Road. Next up, Cerrillos Road and Paseo de Peralta. So while we're all sheltering at home, the amazing city team continues to go out and work on our streets, our roads, our potholes, our medians to make sure that Santa Fe looks great. For people in town who are Spanish language speakers, there's a town hall tonight hosted by Somos. It is today at 6 o'clock to 7:15. You can find it on the web at www.facebook.com/SomosUnPueblo. And there will be a town hall in Spanish to explain all of the elements of the COVID-19 virus and how to respond to it. But it is very much aimed at people in the Spanish language community. Most of the communication that's gone out, with the exception of pages that the state health department has translated into Spanish, most of the communication continues to be in English. This is a Spanish language communication, so tune in, www.facebook.com/SomosUnPueblo. Don't forget Census 2020. If you're going online, you can fill out your census online. We need everybody to count. As I'm telling you about this $2 trillion package that passed the Congress, you should be aware a substantial amount of that money is based on population. And since we are a city of only 85,000 people compared to some of the largest cities in America, our proportion will not be as significant as theirs. But if we get everybody registered through the census, we will get our fair share. And your voice counts. Every voice counts. So go to the census, Census 2020, and get yourself counted. It matters for our money. It matters for representation in the Congress. It is in the Constitution that everybody counts. And there is not even a question on that census. It was taken off by the courts. There's no question about whether you have documents or no documents, citizen, no citizen. All residents count. So get yourself counted on Census 2020. If you're concerned about some of the basics. There is plenty of food available. We're working now with a variety of food providers, including YouthWorks, including our restaurants, including the Food Depot, Kitchen Angels. We're going to be opening up the kitchen in the convention center and producing food there. If you need food, let us know. But remember that the Food Depot handed out, as I said, 3,000 boxes of food yesterday. They have food. They need more volunteers. So if you feel safe and you want to do a little social distancing and volunteering, the Food Depot needs your help. There are no evictions going on in New Mexico. If you can't pay the rent, you will not be evicted, but you will still owe the rent. So don't get confused about it's a free rent holiday. It is a no eviction notice, but you have to come to terms with your landlord and work it out. Testing, don't forget to call that state hotline number, 855-600-3453. Remember our restaurants. If you're worried about going to a supermarket, you think there are too many people there, you're worried about exposure, use takeout. We have a great restaurant community. They could use the business, and you could use a good meal where you're not going into a supermarket to get your food. The supermarkets are continuing to try to practice good protocols, and we'll be working with them next week to make the protocols clear and what the expectations are. But in the meantime, takeout is a great option. You can go pick it up or have it delivered. The New Mexican has a list, a one-page list of some of the fine restaurants in town that are available for takeout. It helps them stay afloat. It helps you get a good meal. So take advantage of that. One other area I want to spend a second on is our homeless population. This last week, we've seen an amazing outpouring of consideration, help, and real cooperation around the homeless population in Santa Fe. We have probably several hundred people who are sheltering every night at our shelters, whether it's the Interfaith Shelter or St. E's, and they're at risk because they are in a dense group, all sleeping in that same space. So our Community Services Director, Kira Ochoa, working with the Department of Health, among other organizations and nonprofits, has been trying to disperse that population of homeless people to give them a room in a motel where they can be safe and separate. And we've now managed to secure several different motels that have been willing to step up and have homeless people have an individual room. There's money from the state to do that. Part of the $500,000 that the City Council allocated at my request will go to shelter those homeless people. At the same time, there will be people in the homeless population who will have symptoms of the coronavirus. We're getting them tested. We're getting help from the hospitals with a special lane so that they can be tested and then given shelter at those motels or at other sites that we're working on standing up right now. We also will have people who test positive and they need shelter. You know, every one of us who is told stay at home has a home. These are people who don't have a home. So it is our real great priority to get them a room that can be their home so they can stay and shelter in place. It's the right thing to do for them. It's the right thing to do for all of us, because if they are coming down with the coronavirus and they don't have a place to shelter, they could infect not only themselves and other homeless people, they could infect all of us or any of us. So that is a high priority to make sure that our friends, our colleagues, our residents who happen to be homeless through no fault of their own have the same opportunity to stay healthy and safe as each of us has, and also to keep them safe and keep the rest of us safe. It's a huge priority. We're working on that very, very hard, and we're getting a great deal of cooperation from several of the motels in town that are willing to step up, from the Department of Health, that is helping to secure those rooms, from Ancorum that is helping to secure and safeguard those rooms. A lot of effort to make sure that the homeless population is treated with the same kind of respect and concern as everybody else in our city. This is a remarkable city dealing with an exceptional crisis. Every day brings challenges, but it also brings more evidence of the heart and the soul and the spirit of Santa Fe. I had the opportunity to host a community conversation yesterday afternoon with 45 of our residents from different parts of our community, people from the small business community, hotels, nonprofits. Some of our tech leaders were on the call. Everybody is pitching in. Everybody is making a contribution. Everybody is joining in to fight this coronavirus. The challenge, to be absolutely clear, is to contain the spread. We're putting up signs at the airport saying, if you're coming in from New York, we love New York, but please take a 14-day staycation now that you've arrived in Santa Fe. We want visitors to keep safe and healthy. We want all of our residents to be safe and healthy. It is a very strange feeling for all of us to have to keep 6 feet distance, to have groups of no more than 5, to stay at home to the greatest extent possible, to wear gloves if that makes us feel safer, to wash our hands 12, 15, 20 times a day. This is all new behavior, just as having a city council meeting as a virtual meeting is a new behavior. But we're learning new things. We're learning new ways of solving old problems. And we're learning that we have the resiliency, we have the resources, we have the heart and the soul and the spirit to crack the back of the coronavirus. If we can flatten that curve, if we can reduce the spread, we will come back stronger, healthier than we were before. $2 trillion is being sent out from Washington, D.C., and thanks to our congressional delegation, some of that money will be flowing right here into your pocket, into your small business, into our community. So there's hope on its way. There are absolute important things that each one of us can do, should do, and must do to keep each of us safe, and then to keep each other safe. You know that old saying, only you can prevent a forest fire? This is a forest fire. This is a forest fire of a virus. And the way we prevent it from spreading is the way forest fires are prevented from spreading, and that is by building a break that the fire can't leap across. That break happens when each one of us stays home, stays safe, practices good social distancing, wash our hands, take care of our own health. We can break the back of the virus the same way fires are broken, and that is by stopping the spread and bringing it to a halt. Right now, we are at an inflection point in our community. It's either going to stop spreading, or if we don't each do our part, it could become very serious. So take my word for it. No one is immune. No one gets a free pass. Take it seriously. When the governor says stay at home, stay at home. And be very careful when you do go out that you practice good social distancing. It has been an incredible week. It will continue to be an unusual, exceptional, emergency time that we're in. We're all going to be tested to try to take on new behaviors that seem unfamiliar, perhaps strange, perhaps unwelcome, perhaps unnecessary. Believe me, they are necessary. This is serious business. If we can stop the spread, we will all come through this just fine. So stay home, wash your hands. If you think you're getting the symptoms, then call the COVID-19 hotline, 855-600-3453. Use this opportunity to call a friend, to reach out to someone you haven't talked to for a while, to make up with people you may have had an argument with. This is a good time to forgive and forget and to come to terms with the fact that we're all in this together. We are all together Santa Fe, and we will be all together Santa Fe as we go through this journey toward health, safety, healing, and ultimately a return to good times for everyone. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Monday. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourself. As you take care of yourself, you will take care of others. You'll take care of the community. You'll take care of Santa Fe. Have a safe, healthy weekend, and I will see you on Monday.